What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Awesome Nerd Show. Today we're looking at the Hasbro Marvel Legends, what I'm going to call deluxe figures, since we have two big figures here. So first off, we have the X-Men Blob, and he just looks cool. Love the artwork of the figure there. It looks very animated and everything, just looks awesome. There he is on the side, and then him on the back there. So we'll see the figure and the accessories he comes with, and you can see he's going to be over 8 inches tall there. So he just looks super cool. So I'm excited to see Blob there. And then we also have Ronan from the Guardians of the Galaxy. So Ronan the Accuser looks pretty awesome there in his classic comic look. Of course, we've seen him in the MCU and everything, but looks awesome. Nice artwork there from the comics, and then the figure on the back there just looks cool and looks like the only accessory comes with is the hammer there, but very awesome for Ronan as well. So very cool for both of these that I'm excited about. So let me get him out of the packaging and we'll take a look at them together. So let's start with looking at the Blob, whose real name is Fred Dukes, and he was a mutant that worked as a circus freak that has an extreme amount of pliable body mass that gives him superhuman strength, and he claims to be immovable. And then we also see him in the comics as a member of the Brotherhood of Mutants, so I'll have to show all that group out. And overall looks cool. This is a massive figure. He's going to be really tall, so when we bring all the characters in, you'll see just how big he is compared to him, and he just looks really cool. Of course, big and thick. He's got the big fat body and stuff, so he's got the big fat head with like the multiple gins there, and I like how they gave him texture of like freckles and stuff all over his skin, so it's kind of weird. He looks a little bit like dirty and stuff, but it's supposed to be freckles running all throughout the skin. And I love his suit, so it's kind of like the classic suit of like the black and yellow, but it just has more details like up on the shoulders, and then he's got the like wrist guards and stuff there with the yellow on each end with black, and then the yellow belt there around his midsection, and same with the boots of black with the yellow at the top of it. So there's not a whole lot to him like design wise. He's just big and fast. You can see the big fat legs, look like he's got baby legs and stuff with the big fatness of him and the thighs, and he's got of course the big hands, big fat arms there as well, and then the big fat body, and just big around overall. But he looks really cool. So he's a big fat guy, but he's big and tall and looks really cool. But let's do the movement. So his head can twist around. It may be hard to twist all the way around just because of the fatness of it, but you can look down that far and up that far. So not a whole lot of movements in the head, but there is some movements there. The shoulders can come up to 90 and rotate all the way around. We get the single elbow joint that can bend to 90 there and has some rotation. Then we get the wrist that can twist around and flex back and forth. There's a lot of stiffness in this figure again, but can flex back and forth. We dab crunch right under his chest, so he can crunch forward. It's hard to really show the movement, so he does crunch back and forth there and can twist all the way around. The hips can come up a little bit there, close to 90, and out to the side that far, not far from doing the splits, which is crazy. A thigh twist that can twist all the way around. Then he's got the single knee joint that can bend back a little, not very too far there, but back a little. And he should have a twist. I think it's hard to get it to twist around, but he usually has a little bit of a twist at least. And then the foot is really stiff, but can flex back and forth, and then can twist side to side. So pretty basic, and he seems about like a Build-A-Figure and stuff, just not a whole lot of joints and movements, and has the pretty similar movements to a Build-A-Figure, but he's just big and bulky and looks really cool. And like I said, just the size of him and mass is pretty crazy, but that fits for Blob because that's what he is, his size and mass. So pretty cool to have him over on. I love the details, like I said, with the freckles and stuff and the overall fatness of the body. So can't complain too much about him at all. But we get some additional accessories, so we get an additional head, so if you want to have him yelling or whatever there, so we have that, and you can see more of the freckles and stuff around his face, and has the double chin and stuff there, so pretty crazy for that. So we have that head, and then we have some additional hands, so we have the claw hand or whatever, and a fist hand, so the opposite of what he's already got there. And as I mentioned, he's a member of the Brotherhood of Mutants, so let's bring all those in now, and we can see how big the group is. Well, there's our Brotherhood of Mutants, so a nice big collection here is continuing to grow out and looks really cool, and you can see just how big Blob is compared to Avalanche, and he's almost as big as Juggernaut, so pretty crazy how big he is and stuff, and looks really cool now added with our Brotherhood. And then we also have Ronan the Accuser, which was an Amazon exclusive figure, and he's the supreme accuser of the Kree Empire of the Accuser Corps, which is like their enforcer group, and he overall looks pretty cool. So we've not seen him in the comics, at least we don't have the old figure of him, but we have seen him in like the MCU and have had that figure, and looks pretty cool, not too much different than he did in the MCU, except for green. He was wearing mostly all black, but still had the blue skin with the black around his eyes, which they put like a tar or something almost around him there, but he still had the like head covering and all the big like armor and stuff there, so not too much different look wise. Just if you made all the green black, it'd be pretty much the same, but he looks pretty cool there. But Ronan has the Kree physiology, so he has higher strength, blue skin, and resistance to poison, toxins, and disease, as well as having high intellect and fighting skills. And then he wears his Kree combat armor, which looks pretty cool, like I said there, in all the green, which I like the green like shoulder pads, the green head covering. I love the different shades of green with the dark green, lighter green, and then like metallic light green around him, so that looks really really cool. And again, his blue skin there of the Kree, so that looks pretty cool. And again, the nice metallic armor going down the arms and legs, dark green outfit in the midsection with the shoulder pads, the gloves and guards, and then the skirt piece with the lighter green design running all through it, all the way down to the boots there. So he just looks really cool, and he's a big figure as well. So like if I bring in that Magneto, you can see just how big he is. So he's definitely a big character, not as big as Blob, but he's still really big. But we'll do his movement. So his head can twist. We don't get a whole lot because he's got this head covering all around, so it's hard to get it to twist all the way around, but you can twist it there at least, and you can look down that far and then up that far. So again, not a whole lot of movement in the neck probably with all that. We get the shoulders that can come up. You can get it forced up to 90 there, and then the shoulder pads do pop off, like you can pop them out of the joint so you can get better room in there, but we'll just put it back in. But we get a bicep twist and the single elbow joint that's really stiff but can bend up at least that far. We get the wrist that can twist all the way around and flex back and forth. Again, a lot of stiffness and in these joints as well that can flex there. Then we get the ab crunch, so we have the ab crunch you can clearly see there. So crunch forward, crunch back, it's nice crunching, and should be able to twist all the way around at the waist. The hips can come up to 90 and out to the side that far. A thigh twist all the way around, double knee joint that can bend up that far to the back at least, and a shin twist at the boot, but instead of up at top, it's like down here in the midsection, so twist around there, and then the foot flexes back and forth and can twist side to side. So pretty decent movements for a big character. Some limitations, like, you know, it's the single elbow joints, and then a lot of stiffness in the joints as well, so have some issues, but nothing major, and still works and functions pretty good. And then accessory wise, doesn't really come with much except for his universal weapon, as it's called, which is their big hammer, which has the powers of energy blast, force fields, matter manipulations, and flight. So it gives him a lot of powers with that. So he's pretty normal himself, but then this, like I said, gives him these additional powers. So nice big hammer again, like we saw them use in the movie. So looks pretty cool there with the overall big hammer design. I love the light blue running through and stuff. Now this is really light, like it's hollow inside. You can definitely tell it's hollow, so it feels really light and crazy. But so at least we don't have to worry about putting his hand in it, like pulling him down or something. But it just also feels really cheap because of how light it is. But let's go and put it in his hand. But there's Ronan with the hammer, and that just looks really cool. So awesome to have a comic version of Ronan, and just how big he is and everything is really cool. So fits out, makes a big ominous character. So nice, good character that fit if you have like the comic versions of the Guardians and everything, which we don't, unfortunately. But he still looks really cool. And of course, we're getting those classic Guardians with like Yondu and Star-Lord and stuff. So we'll be able to throw him in with that. And can't wait to build out the older Guardians of the Galaxy teams and stuff. But it looks very cool, and Ronan's a nice start to that. Well, there we have our Marvel Legends Deluxe Blob and Ronan figures. So Blob's a little bit bigger than this because I'm sort of posed up, so he's crouched down just a little bit. But you can see just how big he is still compared to Ronan, which Ronan was a big figure, and now Blob, like I said, should be a little bit taller than anything. But both of them just look really cool. I think they're both really cool figures. I'm happy about both of them and excited to have them added to the collection. So just a lot of good things with both of these figures. So if you were thinking about them, I can highly recommend them. But let me know what you thought of these figures down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this review, let me know with a thumbs up. But I want to thank you all for watching. I hope you all stay awesome out there, and I'll see you in our next review.